you cool kids and smooth cats, it's Miss Toller, and welcome back to News to You. This week we're going to discuss how one family helps animals. But before we get into our article, I just want to take a moment to allow you to gather some materials, your communication device, and or a snack. And while you gather those things, I'll sit right here and wait. All right, so now that you've gathered those things, let's go over the words associated with the pictures for this article. We have help, own, burn, hurt, bring, care, give, love. We have famous, many, quickly, together, and in yellow we have family, wild animals, Irwin Family, Australia, TV show, zoo, Australia Zoo, wildfire, wilderness, hospital, doctor, koala bear, kangaroo, medicine, zookeeper, Steve Irwin. All right, so now let's go back to our article. What we know before we read our article is one thing we need to do first, and that's review the questions. So why do we want to review the questions before we read the article? Simple, because reviewing the questions will allow us to answer the questions properly because we'll actually know where to find the answers. So number one, what is the paper about? Number two, who helps many wild animals? Number three, where did the Irwin family bring animals? Number four, where is the Irwin family from? Number five, where do doctors care for animals? Number six, what are koalas and kangaroos? Number seven, what animals did doctors not treat? And number eight, what are Bindi Irwin and Robert Irwin? Okay, so now let's go back up to the article and dive in. Irwin Family helps animals. It's always a good idea to read the title first because the title can help us to predict what the story is about. And based on this title, I'm going to predict that this is about a family, the Irwin family, who helps save animals. But let's read along and see. A famous family helps many wild animals. This family is the Irwin family from Australia. The Irwin family has a TV show. The Irwin family owns a zoo called the Australia Zoo. Now, Australia is actually one of the 7 continents, and it's the smallest of the 7 continents. And you probably already learned that in your geography classes. Australia had big wildfires in 2019 and 2020. Wildfires burn quickly through the wilderness. The wildfires hurt many wild animals. The Irwin family wanted to help the animals. The Irwin family brought animals to the Australia Zoo. All right, so let's just pause there and let's take a look at some of these animals that were burned and brought to the Australia Zoo from the hospital. And we'll go here. And as you see, these are the people at the hospital staff volunteering, feeding some of those animals that they rescued from the fire. And they're just so cute. All right. So I just wanted us to kind of get familiar with that. So going back to our article. The Australia Zoo is in Queensland, Australia. The Australia Zoo includes a hospital for wild animals. Doctors cared for the hurt animals at the hospital. The animals included koalas, billibees, kangaroos, foxes, and platypuses. Some animals had burns from the wildfire. And in the video, we've seen a little short briefing of some of the animals that were cared for, and some of them were burned. Doctors gave medicine to the animals, and doctors cared for the animals day and night. And we did see some of the volunteer staff caring for the animals. The Irwin family helped care for the animals too. Together, they have helped more than 90,000 animals. The Irwin family has helped animals for many years. A famous zookeeper was a part of the Irwin family. That zookeeper was Steve Irwin. Steve helped animals his whole life. Steve died in 2006. The Irwin family continues to help animals. The Irwin family includes Steve's wife, Terry Irwin. Steve and Terry have 2 kids. Their daughter, Bendy Irwin, is 21 years old, and their son, Robert Irwin, is 16 years old. The Irwin family started a TV show in 2018. This TV show is called Crickety. It's the Irwins. The TV show is about the Irwin family. The TV show films the Irwin family caring for animals. It films the Irwin family helping animals around the world. The Irwin family loves animals. They care for animals at the Australia Zoo. The Irwin family help animals after the Australia wildfires. They care for animals at the zoo hospital. Would you like to care for animals? And we did see that animals were being cared for at the zoo's hospital. So the Irwin family cares for animals at the Australia Zoo. Terry Irwin is from Eugene, Oregon. She met and married Steve Irwin in Australia. Bendy Irwin was married at the Australia Zoo in March, and Robert Irwin is a wildlife photographer. The Australia Zoo. The Australia Zoo is in Queensland, Australia. The Australia Zoo is 50 years old in 2020. Steve Irwin's parents started the Australia Zoo in 1970. Zoo visitors can learn about many animals. They can feed and pet animals too. Now, Queensland, Australia. The Australia Zoo is in Queensland, Australia. Queensland is an area in northeastern Australia. The Coral Sea is off the coast of Queensland. The Great Barrier Reef is the Coral Sea. Many people snorkel and dive around the reef. All right, so now that we finished our article, we learned about the Irwin family and how they helped rescue all these animals. We learned that the zoo is located in Queensland. We learned about the doctors and volunteers who cared for the Irwin family. So let's just take a look in some pictures of the Irwin family. And the first thing we're going to start off with is going to their website. So this is a picture of the Irwin family. From our article, we know that Bendy Irwin, who is featured here, is now 21. This is our dad, Steve Irwin. Unfortunately, we know that he passed away in 2006. This is Robert Irwin. He's the youngest of the two, and he is now 16. And this is their mother, Terry Irwin. And this is actually the website for the Australia Zoo. And here they say you can have experiences such as animal encounters, zookeeper for the day, wildlife photos, tours, expeditions. And then they tell you about their animals and, where you can visit and buy tickets and how you can support. But we do know that as of now, the zoo is temporarily closed due to the coronavirus. But you can definitely browse around the website to get more information on the Australia Zoo. So now that we've seen a young picture of the Irwin family, let's see if we can find a recent picture of the Irwin family. Wow. So here we have Robert Irwin, Terry Irwin, and Bendy Irwin. And this is the recent pictures of the Irwin family. So this is Robert, who's now 16, his mother Terry, and this is Bendy Irwin, who's now 21. All right, so we know that the Irwin family owns the Australia Zoo. So let's see if Robert can actually give us a tour of the Australia Zoo. Here we go. Wow. Mhm. Seems quite hungry with the corn. They eat healthy. Harvest is huge. Wow. Koala. All right. So Robert gave us an awesome tour into the Australia Zoo, which is really cool. And I'm so glad we actually got to visit. Would have known I would have brought a bag lunch. But next time when we take a small virtual field trip, we'll remember to pack our lunch. So let's move on to the questions. Number one, what is the paper about? Is it the Irwin family helps animals, sharing happiness, or Greta Thunberg? Well, if we move back up, the title of the article is Irwin Family Helps Animals. So to answer our question to number one, the article is about the Irwin family helps animals. Number two, who helps many wild animals? Is it Martin Luther King Jr., Susan B. Anthony, or the Irwin family? Well, being that the article is about the Irwin family helps animals, the question to number two can only be the Irwin family because they're the ones who help the wild animals. Number three, where did the Irwin family bring animals? Did they bring them to NASCAR Hall of Fame? And we know NASCAR has to do with racing, so I wouldn't say they brought them there. The International Spy Museum? I don't think they would bring them there. Or the Australia Zoo? Well, we do know if we go back into our article that they brought them to the Australia Zoo. The Irwin family wanted to help the animals. The Irwin families brought animals to the Australia Zoo. So that will be the answer to our question that they were brought to the Australia Zoo for number three. Four, where's the Irwin family from? Australia, Taiwan, or Iceland? Well, we know that the article mainly centers around the Irwin family in Australia, and it did say that they were in Australia. I'm sorry, that they were from Australia. But it also let us know that Terry Irwin, she was originally from Oregon. So the answer to number 4 is Australia. Number 5, get back to the questions, I apologize. Where did doctors care for animals? Was it the museum, hospital, or school? Well, we know they wouldn't be caring for animals at the museum. I don't think that would be the proper place. And plus, they might mess up all the nice exhibits at the museum caring for animals. Hospital or school? Well, I don't think they were caring for the animals at school because if so, the animals will be learning. So I think the best answer is the hospital because most of the time when you are sick, extremely sick, sometimes we have to go to the hospital to let doctors and nurses take care of us. And that's exactly what happened to the animals who were burned. Number 6, what are koalas and kangaroos? Sea animals, wild animals, farm animals? Well, we know they're not sea animals because they don't live in water and they don't live on a farm. So the correct answer would be wild animals. And number 7, what animals did doctors not treat? Was it polar bears, platypuses, or foxes? So let's go back up to our articles where it talks about the type of animals that doctors treated. Doctors care for the hurt animals at the hospital. The animals included koalas, billies, kangaroos, foxes, and platypuses. So we know our answer choices for number 7 consist of polar bear, platypuses, and foxes. So if we had to answer the question correctly, based on the evidence in the story, we know that they care for platypuses and we know that they care for foxes, but they didn't care for polar bears. So the animals that doctors did not care for would be polar bears. Number 8, what are Bendy Irwin and Robert Irwin? Are they siblings, sisters, or cousins? So they're brother and their sister, so that will make them siblings. All right, well, thank you for joining me in this week's News to You. I hope you stay safe, happy, and healthy, but most of all, I hope you smile. Thank you. Until I see you again, enjoy your day.